Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. And now stand and please join us as we sing our opening song. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my church, Spirit. Thank you for my church. Thank you for my church, Spirit. Thank you for my church. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful church. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful church. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
You may be seated. Well, as the scripture says, where two or more are gathered, we can start with the two. Welcome to the Unity Church on the Mountains morning worship. It's a pleasure to see y'all, and it looks like we've got another one or two coming too. Come on in, Joe. We can recognize you one at a time now. And we've just sung the song, so you're caught up with us at this first song. And Dean is going to be our song leader and speaker, both. Well, I'll let him surprise you with the title of his sermon. I have it here somewhere, but I'm not going to go. Practicing gratitude. Practicing
Okay,
gratitude.
I got it right now, practicing gratitude. It'll also be up on the slide when it comes. And thank you, Barry, for your part in this service too. I may have said or may not have said that I'm your worship leader today. So let us
let us continue with,
Please stand and join me as we sing. Oh, wait a minute.
and greet each other.
And greet each other as we sing. We.
Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love.
You may be seated, and now let us say our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. Now we turn to the Christ candle, which is always lit. So yeah, the candle has to be lit. The candle in us that is the Christ candle, that essence of spirit, is always lit. And so when we do say namaste, we're saying that Christ within me is the Christ within you. I think that's pretty close to the translation for it. But if you remember that, well, then you know what, that really develops the tie between us. And let us go to the vision and mission statement together. Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love. Now we will take a few moments to recognize the child within and the children that we have in our family circle, in our community circle, and the children of the world as we bless them with this blessing. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. We accept you just the way you are. Walk in beauty, you are divine. And now we will go to the next song. There's Namaste right there. That's what we're doing.
Stand or sit as you would like and join me. This is a call and answer back song. So I'll sing it first and then you respond with the answer. Namaste.
Namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Oh, namaste.
oh namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Oh, namaste.
oh namaste.
The light in me.
The light in me
Sees the light in you.
sees the light in you.
The joy in me.
The joy in me
Celebrates you.
celebrates you.
Namaste.
Namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Oh, namaste.
oh namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste,
Oh, namaste.
oh namaste.
The truth in me.
The truth in me light in me.
See the love in you.
See the love in you.
My soul on high.
My soul on high
Celebrates you.
celebrates you.
Namaste.
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 Oh, namaste.
Oh, namaste.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Now, we will have a presentation of prayer box.
Thank you, Debbie. This is our prayer box. We keep it at the back of the sanctuary, so it's always available for you to write down your prayers and place them in the prayer box. They remain here where we pray over them for 30 days, and then we send them to Unity Village, where Silent Unity will then pray over them for another 30 days. So let's quiet ourselves right now in this moment and just breathe. Opening ourselves to Spirit. We lift up these prayers, grateful that they are done, that they are accomplished, that they are realized to the highest good of all. And for this we say thank you, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Now I will read the daily word. Prosperity. Prosperity fills my life. Current flowing through my eyes aren't good, sorry about that. Currently flowing through my home's wiring provides light. But first I must flip the switch to turn it on. Divine substance, the building block of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows. But first I must claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet every need. I know true prosperity when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. I know the more I give, the more of myself I place into circulation, the more I will experience. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in my life and in the world. From the scriptures, Mark 4:24, and he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The measure you are given will be the measure you get, and still more will be given to you. And now, maintaining an attitude of prayer, let us say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
We take this opportunity now as we come together and gather in this place to pause from our life, and to move into the presence that is right now. Taking a deep breath, gently, we breathe in and we breathe out. And as we breathe, our body becomes more relaxed. Our body relaxes and our mind becomes more still. And we check in with the body, bringing our awareness to the face. Is there any tension in the face? If you find tension, just let it go. Checking in with the shoulders. Just feel them drop and relax. The arms and the hands, just relaxing. Right now, in this moment. Checking in as we move down the body, down the trunk, the legs, and the feet securely on the floor. We relax into this moment, secure in the knowledge that all is in divine order, and that we are exactly where we're meant to be right now. Secure in the knowledge that we are truth, that we are spiritual beings, that we are alive before time, and we are always alive, and we are always in the presence of Spirit. We open to Spirit now, allowing life to flow through our body. That's life energy touching each individual cell of our body with its rejuvenating and healing power. Sweeping away and eliminating anything that is in us right now that is not part of our whole and perfect being. We open ourselves to this flow of life. And as it flows through us, it returns to the universe and radiates to every being on our planet, every being in this entire universe, and touches them with this same life energy. And as this life radiates out, with it goes love, attracting into our experience exactly what it is that we need for our spiritual growth. Attracting into our experience exactly what we need to realize our perfect being. That perfect being which we always are. It is this life. It is this love that we call on and we open ourselves to as we go into the silence. And we just sit with Spirit. I sit looking at Spirit, and Spirit sits looking at me in the silence. It is out of this silence that we know the presence. It is out of this silence that we receive the guidance that we need when we open ourselves to Spirit to know what is mine to do. What is my next step? And we let go of our own attachment to what that might look like, and we allow Spirit. What is mine to do? It is in this presence that we can feel those high emotions of compassion, joy, and peace, and gratitude. Gratitude. Grateful, not for anything. Only this overwhelming feeling that all is in divine order. And I am grateful. And it is in this spirit of gratitude that we say thank you. And so it is. Amen. So the title of the talk this morning is Practicing Gratitude. We are practical Christianity at Unity. We look for the things that we can do so that we can realize our perfect potential that is always in us. And we symbolize that potential by the Christ light, that Christ candle that we burn at every gathering of unity. That perfect potential. And it's in us, but yet we don't always become aware of it. We don't always open ourselves to it. In fact, sometimes we block it. And one of the practices we have to open ourselves to this Christ life is gratitude. The third principle of unity is that the thoughts that we hold in our consciousness are attracted into our experience. And when we hold gratitude in our consciousness, gratitude for our blessings, no matter how great they are or how small, how much they don't seem to matter. But if we hold gratitude in our consciousness, we get more of those blessings in our life. So gratitude is a powerful practice for our transformation. Remember the teaching of Jesus that we are transformed by the renewal of our consciousness. And this gratitude practice is one of the things that we can do with our consciousness by our own choice that can bring this transformation, that can bring us ultimately to the awareness of the Christ presence within us. And it's a simple thing to do, but it's not always easy because life happens. Things happen around us that aren't always easy. And it's easy to be overwhelmed by these things. When we're in a time like right now, in the middle, or no, I'm going to say it differently, at the trail end of a pandemic, we have been in the middle of a crisis for over a year. And what that does is it raises the collective stress level of humanity. Because humanity together has been a little worried. Humanity together has been a little fearful. Because of this virus that's spreading around the world. So we have this going on. And as humanity is in this elevated level of anxiety and fear, small things have triggered people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Normally, they might have more resilience so that these small triggers wouldn't bring people to acting in a violent way, to saying hurtful things. And we can see it all around us, at whatever level, whatever scale you want to look. All you have to do is turn on the news and see it. But in the middle of all that, there is something that you can see to be grateful for. In the middle of all that stuff, what is it that's there for me? What is it that I have in the middle of all this that I can be grateful for? If I look at the pandemic in general, I can be grateful for the online presence that it has given this church and that it has brought to many churches in the unity movement. Things like Zoom and YouTube and Facebook. They were there. They were kind of in our awareness, back there. We kind of wanted to do it. But because of the pandemic, it was moved to the forefront. We had to connect with one another, even though we couldn't gather in person like we're here today. So we reached out. And I'm grateful for that these connections were able to be made virtually. So that's just one example of how we can find gratitude in something that's seemingly so hard. When I leave here in the morning, this morning, I'll pull out into that traffic and I'll be grateful. Thankful that just the right spot came at just the right time for me to pull safely out into traffic and go home. It's the small things. If we look in our life at the small things, we can find 100 or 10,000 things in our day that we can be grateful for. I went to visit Olga this morning before I came to church. And I know that we don't all know who Olga is. And Barry is, Olga, you're about to be 90. And Olga is, she's a baby to you, right? She's like, what, 87 or 88?
It's a couple of weeks apart.
So she's about to be 90 as well. And she sends her love, by the way, to you, Barry, and to everybody here. And she is here in heart. But I didn't even talk about the talk with her yet. And she was walking around. She's got this thing, she's her Zoomer. It's not really a walker, but it is a walker. It's on wheels. So she scoots around the house. And she's got her cup of coffee on there and her book. And she scoots around the house and she says, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this walker. Thank you. And she was just telling me how many times she says thank you during her day. She sits in the sunroom where the sun's coming in the morning, and she sits there with it on her back and says, thank you, son. So it's just the little things. We have so much that we can be grateful for. And when we're in the middle of the turbulation and the trials and everything that's going on in our life, it's sometimes hard to do that. So I want to introduce something that we can use as a practice to remember our gratitude. If you're getting the newsletter, I already gave you a preview of it in the reflection. But it's called a gratitude jar. We call it a jar. It doesn't have to be a jar. It can be a Ziploc baggie. But the point is that you set aside some time each day to write down on a little slip of paper something that you're grateful for. You can do it multiple times a day. And if you forget to do it one day, that's okay too. Remember, it's always in the spirit of play. It's all good. So each day we're putting in a slip of paper in this gratitude jar or in the shoebox, something we're grateful for. And then one day, and it's bound to happen, because it happens to us all. There's one day where it's really a hard day. It seems like just everything has happened that day. And it's just really just hit us hard. I had one of those weeks last week before that maybe. And I got sick because of the stress that I let happen to me. I mean, it's not the stressors, it's the stress, how I brought that in that made me sick. Anyhow, we don't want to hear about that. When that day happens, though, you've got this jar that's full of blessings. And when you're feeling down, or you're feeling stressed, or you're feeling worried, open the jar, put your hand in there and take out a blessing and just read. This is something that you're grateful for. You know? And it'll change your whole attitude. And if that one blessing isn't enough, reach in there and pull out another one. And just do it until there's a change that takes place. And when that change takes place, well, you can either throw them out if your jar's getting too full, or you can put them back in there for another day. Mix them up. So you see that this gratitude jar works in two ways. As we fill it up each day, we're bringing to our consciousness a blessing, something we're grateful for. And we make that change. And then if we're feeling down and it's hard to think of something to put in that jar serves as a reminder of the things that we put in there on other days. Another gratitude practice that I really like, and well, there's many, but before I even get out of bed in the morning, I'm lying there and I'm awake, but I'm not really ready to get out from under the covers yet. And I can just go over in my mind the things I'm grateful for. And it changes the way I feel when my feet do hit the floor. And that's been my practice every day for years now. And I'll tell you, it works. Another time to do that is at night when you go to bed. Lay there if you're in the habit of doing prayers. Say your prayers. At the end of my prayers, I just start listing in my head the things I'm grateful for that day. And fall asleep listing things I'm grateful for. Because it brings that gratitude feeling, that peace. There's a peace that comes with it. We're opening ourselves to the presence when we're in gratitude. And what a wonderful way to fall asleep. Because anything that would keep us awake, some worry, anxiety, thought about something else that ain't happening right now, doesn't need to be thought about right now. It can just evaporate in gratitude. So gratitude is a practice because the more we bring gratitude to our mind, the more we receive those blessings that we're grateful for in our life. And these blessings don't have to be huge things, though they are too. Grateful for our grandchildren, grateful for our health and wholeness, grateful for that parking space that I found when I pulled into the grocery store. Even the small things bring gratitude into our consciousness and attract more gratitude into our experience of life. This morning I want to say that I'm grateful for each one of you. Every single one of you this morning. I'm grateful in my heart to see you this morning and to be right here with you this morning. I am grateful. Not for any single one thing. Only that feeling of gratitude that comes from Source. So no matter what practice it is that you bring into your next week, let it bring to your consciousness gratitude. Whether it's a jar, whether it's listing the things that you're grateful for at the beginning and ending of your day, or whether it's just throughout the day as you move along, just noticing the little things that happen, the little things that you see that you can be grateful for. Thank you for your attention. Blessings. We're going to sing a song. It's in the red book. And it's number right there. 359, or it's on the screen behind me. Please stand and let's sing together, We Make Our Own World. And it's gratitude that helps us to make that world. Barry's been doing that to me.
I love it.
Everybody goes out and gets the
Good songs.
jar.
Great lyrics.
Gratitude.
Really?
There's one to put in right now.
Thankful for Barry. Y'all may be seated.
Yes, be seated, and we'll be saying our prosperity blessing, and I'm going to ask Debbie to help me with the collection. She'll come and receive the So, our prosperity blessing.
The inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand.
There is no reality in lack.
Abundance is here and now manifest. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And now let us say our offertory blessing. Divine love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Lovingly I give, and lovingly I receive.
Thank you. Now, we have the opportunity to share a little bit. And I've listed 3 things on the slide there: abundance, prosperity, and celebrations. You may have another thing that you're grateful for. Anything that you're grateful for? Debbie?
So, I've been feeling kind of down recently and not motivated and just having some inner struggles, and I mentioned it to a friend, and I just got an overwhelming amount of support from just one short conversation that my friend went out and researched some opportunities or possibilities for me and sent it back to me, and just knowing that I have friends in my life that are there to support me that way, just it helps just with that alone, not only what they provided me, but just knowing that they're there.
Yes, thanks.
Wow. Yeah. Shirley?
It's wonderful.
Well, I'm just so grateful that Tina and I made it back from Missouri. And it was a challenge. It's still a challenge every day. And she has this little dog, Gypsy, that just keeps us busy. She makes us both happy, and things, we've got her a doctor, and so things are working out. And I just ask all of you to keep myself and her in prayer, because having someone else in my home to more or less take care of is a challenge when you're not used to it. So I just ask that y'all keep me in prayers, that I'll be strong enough to do what I need to do as a mother. So, thank you.
Well, it's great to have a community that can help us with in prayer for all of us.
Yes.
I'm grateful for the text conversation I had with my daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. We had a Zoom conversation. This is the first time since the whole pandemic that got on Zoom with us. It was great to see her and her husband and have a nice conversation. Debbie, you had something else to add?
Yeah, I also wanted to remind us all about how there's a way that we can share our prosperity with the people at First Stop. First Stop is a homeless day center where homeless folks can go, they can take a shower, they can get a meal, they can get different supplies that they need, and they can also talk to a counselor and get their identities back. They can sometimes find homes and jobs through this center, and they have a page on their website. I think we actually posted in our newsletter that tells what their urgent needs are, and if you happen to go to their page and happen to see something that maybe you have an extra coat that you realize you don't need, or something of that nature, or you look on their site and see that they have toothpaste and you happen to see a great sale and you buy a few tubes and you bring it in. If you bring it in here at the back under the last pew, we have some large baskets, and if you bring them there, then over time I'll gather them up and I'll take them over to First Stop and drop them off, so you don't need to. Or if you feel like you want to go and check the place out or drop off a donation, I'm sure that that would be well received as well. But it's getting to be that time of year where it's colder at night, and the folks that are not living in the same level of prosperity as I am, they're going to have additional needs at this time that I try to help out and let them know through First Stop that there are people in the world that are out there to help.
Yes. Anybody else? I've got one. I woke up, it's been a little over a week now, Saturday morning, a week ago, and I had a scratchy throat, and I'm running up, they call it mild temperature. I got a text to the board and I said, I'm going to record the talk and let y'all play it. I don't want to come up here and spread those germs. And I went online to find out if I could get COVID tested, because, you know, in this day and age, when you get sick with anything that's got a mild temperature, you just kind of want to know. And I did. I found a place right there in town that could test me that same day and give me the results, and I found out I was negative. Yay. And that made me feel better right there automatically. And then, they tested me for the flu and for strep, and they gave me some, just the miracles of modern medicine. They gave me a steroid shot and some antihistamine decongestants, and I was able to go to work Monday and just do my job without really any suffering at all. And it was just truly a miracle. Because I'm working with fellows that didn't go to the doctor, and they're hacking and coughing and feeling crappy. But they don't have to do that, because we do have that modern medicine available to us. So. Oh, and by the way, because I got COVID tested while I was there, I didn't have to pay a copay.
Well,
Awesome. All right, well, that's all I had. Has anybody else got anything to share? Any kind of prosperity blessing in their life at all? John?
Well, this is on a lighter side. A good friend of my daughter and son-in-law is living with them and, trying to get established in this area. Well, anyway, unfortunately, she lost 2 boxers that we all loved. Well, anyways, they went and got a male boxer puppy. Oh, is he cute? So now I have a new grand puppy in the family. He's just adorable. And he's going to be spoiled rotten, but that's all right.
He enjoys that. Okay, let us continue. And we're ready for some announcements. I don't know, they're supposed to be able to read them, but they're
I'll speak to that one.
pretty hard to read.
Spirit moved me to a series of talks, and the first one's going to be the fundamental spiritual practices, love. And then there's going to be 2 more that follow it. So it's going to be love, and then presence, and then surrender. And I think what we'll find is if we look at any of our unique spiritual paths, they all have these things in common. So the first one we'll talk about next week is love. We have a Sunday morning power hour. That's your Sunday school upstairs. We're discussing the book Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. We also have on Wednesdays this dynamic new book, Loving Yourself to Greater Health by Louise Hay, and there's 2 other authors, but they're Aaliyah and their name escapes me. But we can always remember Louise Hay. And it's been a really good book. We're just getting started, and we do have some copies upstairs in case you want to join us and don't have a copy.
They have some good exercises in them too.
They do. It's very practical. It's not just all about it's not just information. It's really stuff that we can put to use in our life. And even in the introduction and in the first chapter, we're already getting some of that stuff that we can do. Seems like there's something else too that we're supposed to talk about. Yeah, we're starting a committee. And Jackie, who's not here, she's our vice president of the board, and I are starting a committee where we can look at a policy manual for the church. And we invite anyone, if you feel moved by Spirit, to participate, help us to create this policy manual. And we have a lot of policies, but they're not written down. And we're going to get that stuff documented, so we'll have this living document that we can pass on and just help us to remember these things as we go forward. We've got a workshop that's going to be coming up. And Donna Stone Reed, who's LUT and PhD and all kinds of other letters after her name, is going to be teaching this. It's going to be on a Sunday afternoon. We have not set a date yet. I'm not sure whether it's the COVID that scared it away, but I do know they're safely back from their trip to California. So we're just kind of waiting on some more information from them, and I'll get an announcement. It'll come out in the newsletter as soon as I hear it. And so that's another thing. If you're not getting your newsletter, please let me know, and we'll make sure your email address is correct. You should get it Tuesday evening so you can read it Wednesday morning. And I don't have anything else, Cliff.
Well, that's good. I think that has them for us. Let us turn to our closing. And our closing song. Now we turn to our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you for coming to this worship service.